Young Jeezy said it the best. An opinion is like an escalator. Everybody has one. That's a fact. People feed into drama so much that they would take your small, minute problem and make it huge. That's why I'm telling you right now, people will always be people. Keep people out of your business, period. Like if you want your relationship to really flourish and grow, keep folks out of, because people are always going to talk.
Man, you are really encouraging me, motivating me, inspiring me. God is really using you to help me out.
What's going on, family? I want to welcome you to AOS The Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Aosinspires. This is what I need you to do. We're on every single platform, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I need you to go and subscribe and follow us right now. We drop content every single day that'll help you with your life, because our mission here at AOS The Podcast is to empower the world to never give up, one conversation at a time, one interview at a time, one video at a time, to help you live life at the next level. I want you to live life on the next level. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you that's watching this episode. This is going to be a dynamic episode. I need you to dive in. Do me a big favor. I need you to like, share, and comment. Don't be a stranger. Comment with us. And this is what I need you also to do. I need you to copy this link right here on this podcast, this episode, and share it with at least 10 of your friends. I promise you, it's going to help them out. Let's jump into the episode. Family, you guys are so amazing. I want to welcome you to another episode of AOS The Podcast. You already know our mission here is to empower the world to never give up, one video at a time, one interview at a time, just to help you get to the next level. Let's go ahead and jump on into this thing. You already see the thumbnail. You already see the description, the title. People will be people. And I just got to be honest, man. It's crazy because Steve Harvey is my guy. That's my dude. Because look at everything that he has accomplished. Look at all the things that he has his hands in. And it's crazy because I draw a lot of inspiration from Mr. Steve Harvey, because watch this. He's the type of, I was listening to him on, there's this platform, podcast called EYL, Earn Your Leisure. They do this conference every single year called Invest Fest, which is amazing. Diddy this year gave him $1 million, which was super dope. Gave the company, Earn Your Leisure, $1 million, because he believes in their vision. He believes in what they're doing so much. I mean, it's just a dope platform, two dope guys that are doing some amazing. What's going on, family? I know that you're enjoying the episode, but I had to pause to ask you a quick question. Have you ever been through anything in life that was so life-altering that it changed your life forever? I mean, have you ever been and had a job and you lost that job? I mean, your dream job. You lost that job for whatever reason. Maybe you're an entrepreneur. You started a business and the business started off great and then it seemed as if it was going downhill. And now you're at a place, you lost your marriage, you lost your children, you lost some major things in your life. And now you're at a place in life where you're like, hey, this is the end of the road. I don't see it getting better. I got news for you. It will get better. And I wrote a book just for you. It's entitled Winning After a Major Loss. You need to go and get your copy. Go to barnesandnoble.com, go to amazon.com, get your copy right now. Winning After a Major Loss. I promise you, it's going to change the trajectory of your life. It's going to change your mindset. Most importantly, it's going to change your heart about your situation, because I promise you, you can win after a major loss. Go get your copy now. Barnes & Noble's, amazon.com. Order your copy now. Let's get back to the episode. Cash up there, he does the books. But anyway, this was last year in Invest Fest that they had Steve Harvey up there. And one thing Steve Harvey said was the biggest thing that changed his life, because when he first got on TV, right? And I'm telling you where I draw my inspiration from my guy, Steve Harvey. And he said that when he first started, got his TV show, he was getting $75,000 a week. Every Thursday, they would give him, deposit into his account, $100,000 a week, $100,000 a week, right? So, he was like, to him, that was really good money, but he really didn't understand the business. He was just happy to be on TV. He was just happy to see what he had been trying to do all these years finally produce, right? Finally give him some, some results, some fruit, right? So, but moving along, this is what he said. He said, as he grew in the business and learned the business, he said that he stopped selling the product or selling himself and start licensing what he was doing. So, he would record it and he would license it out. And I mean, I just drew so much inspiration from that because we look at it on the platform of YouTube and, look at $1 million worth of game. Listen, we ain't selling nothing. We'll license it to you, but we won't sell anything. So I'm just saying he is a very, 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 very big guy that we I gather rather, great inspiration from. A great model to really track his success, listen to his story. Right, I remember the story, and this not no long list of testimonials or how he has inspired our brand, but I remember the story that he talked about when he had got the call to go to the Apollo, and he didn't have no money to get a hotel. But that story alone, just go dig deep. But that story alone was very monumental in his career that really took him to the next level. However, one thing that's in lieu of this episode that I would say that he prided himself in is keeping people out of his business. And that's not just something that celebrities try to practice. I wanted to bring this episode and introduce you guys to something that I'm pretty sure that you already know. I did a video a while ago and it hit like really big on YouTube, on TikTok. And I was telling people like, listen, keep people out. If you want your relationship to last, right? Keep people out of your business. Why is that? Look at the title. People will be people. Now, let me give a quick synopsis of the story with Steve Harvey. And the reason I'm making this video, because so many people was like, yo, you need to get up on this topic about the Steve Harvey situation. I was like, nah, listen, my platform, we don't do stuff like that. You know how some people report the latest and greatest and they try to do a spinoff, and I don't dabble like that. And the reason I don't want our platform to be like that is because our mission, listen to our mission. Our mission is to empower the world to never give up one conversation at a time. When interviewed, how is this empowering you being messy, right? But I saw something in it that was so dope that I wanted to share with my viewers and my listeners and all of our subscribers, because this is the thing. When you keep people out of your business, your relationship can last. Your relationship can go the distance, if you will. I mean, it can really work. Your relationship can really work if you keep folks out of your business. Now, this is a big one. I'm about to get to it in a minute, but let me slow down. Let me backtrack real fast. The reason I extracted my guy, Steve Harvey, was because we were hearing rumors. I didn't hear it, right? I didn't know about it until he addressed it in InvestFest, because somebody was talking to me yesterday, like, yo, you hear about it? Hear about what, bro? I mean, like for real, like I'm so entrenched into my lane, like what I'm doing. Listen, we're building an 8-figure podcast right now as we speak in your face. You're about to start seeing the interviews. You're about to start seeing the guests that we have on. We're talking high-level conversations about those 3 topics: entrepreneurship, life, and also relationships. But I'm so focused and learning how to build this 8-figure podcast that any other outside chatter that does not bring value to what I'm doing here, I don't watch it. I don't listen to it, right? So they was like, hey, something about his wife had got, something had got brought up about him, about whatever. I don't know what it was. I really did not, like I said, we won't deal into the messy part of stories. We just look for the inspiration and extract that. So I don't know whether it was that he cheated, and that's the story that was kind of floating on my desk. Like, yo, he cheated and his wife caught him. Now she's getting divorced. Now she's trying to take him for everything that he has. But what I extracted, and the reason I'm making this episode, is because what he said during InvestFest. He said, listen, all the chatter and everything, me and my household, we good. And I love that. And I salute Steve. Why? Because he could have addressed it of what they said in details. Like he could have done like most people do. They get in their feelings and they get on the live and they just go to work. He could have addressed everything that people were saying about his wife, about his past, about her past. It is what it is, right? This is what he said that I love. He was like, yo, me and my household, me and my family, me and Marjorie, we good. We straight. Ain't nothing break, and we good. period, and left the conversation like that and just kept on moving. Like, why would you stop to address something that brings no relevancy to your life? Many of you, this is why y'all keep on finding yourselves in the same situation time and time again, because you're taking time to address things that brings no value to your life. I had somebody a few episodes back we chop up the videos, right? And we're about to start letting AI do it, but I've been doing it right now. But we chop up videos and we put them on IG. So we drop 3 episodes a week. So we may do 30 or 40 shorts in a week, right? Each week. And I dropped this one short talking about Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, late First Lady Michelle Obama. And I was just talking about the 80-20 rule, if you're familiar with that. If you're not, go look it up. But 80-20 rule. And had a guy comment on IG, and he was like, did you know that Michelle is really named Michael? So I'm asking, he was trying to suggest, and I've heard this rumor going around that she was a transvestite, she was a dude. This is what I asked him. 3 things, does that change your life? That information that you just shared, does that change your life? Does that get you any money? Like, does that allow your capital for the year to go up? Right? Or the third one is, does this enhance your life by any means? Right? So he went on in the comments. He did not answer it. He drove around the question. Oh, you sleep. Oh, you this. Nah, my question becomes, does it bring any value to your life? Because I truly, like, for real, I stand on this promise, this principle. Our mission statement is to empower the world to never give up, one conversation at a time, one interview at a time, one video at a time, to help you get to the next level. Like, that's my mission. That's what I'm doing this for. I'm not doing this for it. Now, of course, when you do anything on a high level, comes notoriety. When you do anything on a high level and people start watching, money comes in, right? But that's not the reason why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I know what it feels like to be in a place where you're not motivated. I know what it feels like to be in a place where you're dead broke. And you're like, man, I don't know where my next dollar coming from. Matter of fact, I don't even know where my next meal coming from. I had a conversation with my guy today, and I was telling him I didn't know what broke was until I got grown and made some decisions on my own. Like, we didn't live that life growing up. I wasn't broke. I mean, we may have not had, a plethora of money when I was growing up, but we weren't broke, right? We weren't scrambling. It depends on your definition, right? We won't live in the luxury life of, let me get all that. Nah, we won't like that, right? We lived a good life, always lived in a house, right? And always lived in the great neighborhoods. However, I didn't get introduced to struggle. I'm gonna say that, struggle, until I got grown and on my own. But so that's what I was saying. I'm like, yo, how does this benefit your life? But the key point about it that draws all this in is that when you keep people out of your business and stop responding to nonsense and stop giving your attention to nonsense, you'll see your relationship flourish. Now, the reason this is so is because when you give attention to nonsense, that nonsense, even though you know that it's nonsense, even though you know it's trash, it'll make your mind start to race, like, for real. Like, have you ever heard something and you're like, no, that's bull crap. Whatever, man, I don't want to hear that mess, man. But you get by yourself later that day or later that hour, and then you be like, hold on. Maybe it's some validity to what they talking about. No, it's not. It's just trash. You're just allowing nonsense, negative stuff to come into your mental and affect you, how you think and how you saw this situation at one time. I tell people this all the time. If you have an issue in your relationship, unless you need professional help, you do the research about the professional help, because even if you go to church, every pastor is not qualified to counsel you. I don't care who's listening. I don't care who agree, who doesn't agree. Every single pastor, every single faith leader, if you go to, if you're Muslim, if you are Catholic, if you are whatever religion you are, your leader is not 100% all the time. All leaders are not 100% capable of coaching you or helping you through your issue. Sometimes you need to get a professional to help you out. And even when you get a professional, do the research with that, right? And a lot of people, they do this. They try to get the shortcuts. They try to get mediators. But when you get a mediator involved, the mediator is either going to be, it's not going to be a friend of both of y'all's. They may be cool with both of y'all, but one of you all, they are more closer to. I'm going to say that. They're closer to, right? So, me and my wife, when we have a mutual friend, or a friend that we both, befriended, maybe at the same time, maybe not at the same time. But with that friend is going to lean more to one of our sides. So that's the danger with the mutual situation. When you bring a mutual friend in, a mutual person in to come and help you work through the problems that you guys have. I'm not saying you just sit at home and fuss it out. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is if you listen to my podcast and listen to a few episodes, you know that you need to sit down when the smoke is cleared and the atmosphere is clear. Sit down with your person and y'all talk it out. Don't just fuss it out, because when you fuss it out, it never gets anywhere. But however, keep people out of your business. Look at Jay. Now, of course, I know y'all gonna bring up, but what about lemonade? Yeah, that's, but now think about this. We really don't know if that was, because you got to realize, look at the track record of Jay-Z. The track record of Jay-Z, the only things that leaked out about Jay-Z was things that maybe other people said. Nothing that he said leaked out, right? It became a huge story because somebody else said something. So I tell people this all the time, even with the lemonade situation, you don't know if that was a publicity stunt. Maybe she did that so that it can get crazy sales. And sales went through the roof with that. Why? Because people feed into drama. And since that's a bar right there. People feed into drama so much that they would take your small, minute problem and make it huge. That's why I'm telling you right now, people will always be people. Keep people out of your business, period. Like if you want your relationship to really flourish and grow, keep folks out of, because people are always going to talk. People are always going to have something to say. People are always going to have an opinion. I love it what Jesus said. Jesus said this years ago. Jesus said, opinion is like an escalator, Everybody got one. Young Jeezy said it the best. An opinion is like an escalator. Everybody has one. That's what's going on, family. I know that you're enjoying the episode, but I had to pause to ask you a quick question. Have you ever been through anything in life that was so life-altering that it changed your life forever? I mean, have you ever been and had a job and you lost that job? I mean, your dream job. You lost that job for whatever reason. Maybe you're an entrepreneur. You started a business and the business started off great and then it seemed as if it was going downhill. And now you're at a place, you lost your marriage, you lost your children, you lost some major things in your life. And now you're at a place in life where you're like, hey, this is the end of the road. I don't see it getting better. I got news for you. It will get better. And I wrote a book just for you. It's entitled Winning After a Major Loss. You need to go and get your copy. Go to barnesandnoble.com, go to amazon.com, get your copy right now. Winning After a Major Loss. I promise you, it's going to change the trajectory of your life. It's going to change your mindset. Most importantly, it's going to change your heart about your situation, because I promise you, you can win after a major loss. Go get your copy now. Barnes & Noble's, amazon.com. Order your copy now. Let's get back to the episode. Everybody's going to have something to say about your relationship. Why y'all doing? Why are you paying all the bills? Why you staying at home? Why he not working? And listen, some of y'all are probably hitting the flow right now like, yo, bro, own it. Because whenever, and this is a big one. I've been waiting to say this for the longest time. I tell people this all the time. Stop giving advice, right? I mean, you can shed some wisdom on a situation, but stop giving people, and I know y'all looking at me now, like you give relationship advice. Yeah, I give general relation. I don't never tell you what to do and what not to do. I'm only giving general advice. I'm only giving wisdom, right? But I hate when people give you, no, you should do this. Never take advice. Number one, this is a big one. You can listen to what somebody says, but never take advice and do verbatim what they say do. The reason I say that, unless it's like a financial play or unless it's like a business move, but I'm talking about a relationship right now. If everybody thinks differently, that's I can really close it with that one. Everybody thinks differently. So since everybody thinks differently, the way that you move is not going to be the way that I move. So if I take your advice and something happens with that advice that I take in the midst of my relationship, something happens and they respond a certain type of way, you will respond to them totally different from the way that I will respond, because we're two different people. We think differently. We feel different. We move different. That's the biggest danger about giving advice, because we don't move the same. You may make a decision, right? For a prime example, I talked to this person and they were like, shucks, man, I forget about buying a car. Forget about buying furniture. I'm just going to live, on an air mattress and just stack my money. Yeah, that may work for you because you're single. I got kids. That's not going to work for me. That's not good sound financial advice for me to get to the next level, right? That's my greatest example that I can give you. Because people are going to operate in different ways. People think differently. So the advice that you think, that's another big one too. That can be a whole new episode by itself. The advice that you think that you will take, and that's another thing too with advice givers, because you hear a lot of people that give advice that don't live by their own advice. Right? Oh man, you should love your wife and just, be understanding. And this joker cussing his wife and beating his wife up. Let's call a spade a spade. Right? That's why I tell people be very leery of people giving you advice, especially if you don't know them, but especially if you guys not that close. Right? We will not operate the same. Listen. My dad don't watch too many of my episodes. He probably don't. I don't know. He may watch them. I don't know. But even with my parents, I listen to certain things, and certain things will work for me, but certain things won't work for me. Why? Because our mind is wired differently. We look at things differently. Like for a prime example, I told my dad, hey, listen, we got monetized on Facebook, man. Like we winning. Like we ain't getting thousands, but we getting a few dollars on Facebook. His mindset is, no, you ain't making no money off of Facebook, because he doesn't understand the business aspect of it. My parents' mindset is get a job, work 40 years, get your 401k, retire, stack your money, invest some money, make some safe investments, and just live off. That's their, and it's okay. There's a lot of people on the other side of this lens, your parents, and even you think the same way. I'm just wired differently. It's crazy because my mom rather, showed me, even my dad, showed me subconsciously a glimpse of entrepreneurship. And I loved it. Like when they showed me that, I loved it. So that's what I'm saying about the advice. And I saw that with my parents, my mom rather, and I loved entrepreneurship. I just love that life. I love it. Like I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world. I can't. Like I was telling somebody yesterday, I was like, I would rather work for myself making 50 a year than working for somebody else making 100,000 or making $1 million. I get it. Some of y'all be like, I work for them for a year, take that $1 million, but you don't know what comes along with that $1 million. And it's a reverse situation, because a lot of women would give you advice. No, don't deal with a guy because he got money, because you don't know what comes along with that money. Let's really be honest. A lot of y'all are taking stuff and don't know what comes along with what you got to take. Right? You looking at that, I get to drive the Bentley, I get the Amex, I'm good. I shop all day, Monday through Friday, I shop, weekends we party, whatever. But you don't know what comes along with those gifts that benefit, right? So that's why I say with advice givers, be careful. Be careful. Big one. Just like with fighting. You may have some uncles that be like, if they say, like, I never forget, I never forget, right? I was in high school, and you already know if y'all been following me for a while. I was the dude, I always loved the joke. I was the joker. My teachers would always say, if you don't make it to BET, something went wrong. Like everybody in my school knew that I was going to be a famous comedian. Everybody. That's what they always say. You're going to be a comedian when you go. You whatever, right? And if you don't be a comedian, if you don't make it on BET, some happen. No, you're supposed to be on BET, right? So my uncle, I was telling him, I used to joke all the time. So I joked, this dude, he's doing 30 years now, not because of what he did, but he made some decisions in life, and he's doing 30 years in prison, right? So, told my uncle, I was like, I just got jumped. 2 dudes. I'm like, because I really, really embarrassed this guy. I really embarrassed this guy. I want to publicly apologize. You know who you are. want to apologize. I apologize for making you feel the way that I made you feel. But in high school, I was relentless. I didn't care. I'll be joking you and be like, you ugly, whatever. I say some crazy stuff. Like I joke everything about you. And the way that I joked, I would reverse the joke so that you wouldn't have nothing to say about me. This is what I do. I started out, listen, I already know what you're going to say. I joke myself. I would talk about all my defects. Everything that I know that you would attack about me, bam, I said it. So now you're left with nothing to say. So now when I come at you, it's a done deal. TKO, right? So dude, jump me, right? I'm still talking about the advice. Don't give people the advice, right? So I told my uncle, like, man, I just got jumped, man. He was like, all right, this is what you do. When you go to school tomorrow, you put a hammer in your book bag. And if them jokers come at you again, you take that hammer and, wait a minute. You but hit him in the head with a hammer for jumping me? That's my greatest example. You cannot take advice from any and everybody. Because truth be told, that's probably what he would do, real talk. He'd probably take a hammer, and go to work, go uptown. It is what's going on, family. I know that you're enjoying the episode, but I had to pause to ask you a quick question. Have you ever been through anything in life that was so life-altering that it changed your life forever? I mean, have you ever been and had a job and you lost that job? I mean, your dream job. You lost that job for whatever reason. Maybe you're an entrepreneur. You started a business and the business started off great and then it seemed as if it was going downhill. And now you're at a place, you lost your marriage, you lost your children, you lost some major things in your life. And now you're at a place in life where you're like, hey, this is the end of the road. I don't see it getting better. I got news for you. It will get better. And I wrote a book just for you. It's entitled Winning After a Major Loss. You need to go and get your copy. Go to barnesandnoble.com, go to amazon.com, get your copy right now. Winning After a Major Loss. I promise you, it's going to change the trajectory of your life. It's going to change your mindset. Most importantly, it's going to change your heart about your situation, because I promise you, you can win after a major loss. Go get your copy now. Barnes & Noble's, amazon.com. Order your copy now. Let's get back to the episode. But that's his decision. That's how he's built. You may not be built like that. You may not be built in a way where the advice that they give that you can follow it through or see it through. So be true to yourself. So what I suggest in a relationship, if you guys can't sit down and talk amicably, I messed that up all the way. I messed that all the way up. Amicable. If y'all can't be amicable, right? Find somebody professional. Or somebody, I'm going to say this because everybody's financial situation is not the same. If you can't find somebody affordable that's in your budget at your age, right? I mean, this is important for you to invest in if this is a person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Or find somebody that both of you all trust, that's not leaning on one side versus the other side. Don't find somebody that one person is really, really tight with and the other person is just okay with. It's not going to work, because the person that they're not that tight with, they're going to always feel like they're taking your side. So find somebody that you trust. If your budget is not like that, find somebody you trust. You sit down, you guys talk about what's going on and work out a plan and see that if you can get to the next level. Or if you don't want to find somebody, or if you don't want to go to a professional, get a book. There's books about how to, matter of fact, it was this book and I can't think of the book name. I know I still have it. It's probably in my library somewhere. I know it's in my library. It's a book to teach couples how to hash out their differences and sit down and communicate. I think it's called Let's Just Talk or something like that. I haven't read it in a couple of years, but yeah, I mean, it's a great model. It gives you examples. It gives you exercises, how to talk. And I mean, it's a dope book. Buy the book, read the book. Y'all follow the book if you're really serious about your relationship. But, I just want to tell people will be people. Anytime you tell somebody, hey, don't tell nobody what I'm about to tell you, it's crazy. It's going to get out. I promise you, it's going to get out. Whenever you got to lead with, don't tell nobody, they're going to tell somebody. Why is it? Now, I'm going to tell you, the people that they tell, you may not know, but it could be a chance where you don't know them and they tell somebody else, but they don't know that they know you. Now you're because why? Because people will be people. Period. So my total advice, keep your business to yourself. And I promise you, you don't have to worry about stuff getting back to your lady. Or ladies, you don't have to worry about stuff getting back to your guy about what you said. Because you keep your business to yourself. Listen, I love you guys to life. People will be people. Shout out to my boy, my man, my guy, Steve Harvey. Shout out to him. Thank you so much for blazing the trail. Thank you so much for all that you do for the world, for our community, and also for the world. But just extracting something from that situation that Steve Harvey went through, keep people out your business. And that's the key. That's the key to having a successful relationship. I'm out of here. What's going on, family? I want to say thank you for rocking with us during this episode. We have been so excited to drop this episode, and I'm glad that you made it to the end. This is what I want you to do. If you have any takeaways from this episode, leave it in the comments. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear how you feel. I want to bring content to you that's relevant to you, that'll help you change your life, because you already know our mission here at AOS Inspires, AOS The Podcast, is to empower the world to never give up, one conversation at a time, one interview at a time, one video at a time, to help you live life at the next level. This is what I need you to do. I need you to like, subscribe, share this episode. If it spoke to your life, share this episode with somebody. Why? Because you are connected to some people that we're not connected with. And with that connection together, we can empower the world to never give up. I'm Mr. AOS Inspires. This is AOS The Podcast. I can't wait to see you next week. Just in case you didn't know, we drop every single week, 3 times a week. Mondays, 8 a.m., Wednesdays, 8 a.m., and Fridays, 8 a.m. You need to catch an episode. Matter of fact, catch all 3 episodes. It's going to be fire. I promise you it's going to help you doing your everyday life. It's going to help you get to the next level. Let's go.